Uh-oh. It must be time for another penny box hunt. Looks like Batman's ready. We're ready to see what we can do in this realm. Maybe even an Indian head cent or two. And if anything is going good, maybe we can find something like this gem we found the last time out. Hi there, folks. It is Silver Chupacabra talking to you, the Chup. Jeff, however you want to go with that, of course. And it's time to hunt some more pennies. Can't wait. Just got through a nice nickel box hunt, and I'm hoping to see some of the same quality coins I saw in that nickel hunt. And of course, we want to fill out or continue filling out. I don't think we'll be able to fill this whole thing out this time around. It's going to take years to fill this one out. This is the 1909 to 1940 collection book. If you remember the last time out, I was surprised I actually had an opening for this. 17s are pretty common, but we were able to put that in there. We've got plenty of space to do that. I think the 30s are getting more filled out, which is cool. The 1941 to 1974 book, folks, is almost complete. Love the shinies there. And I love how the shinies are building up into the wheaties here, too. Some really nice looking coins that we found in circulated boxes, which is darn cool. One whole filler in this page here, the second page. And the first page, we got 4. And we've already talked about the steel pennies before. Doubtful that's going to happen, but I found an 1887 V nickel in the last nickel hunt. Didn't think that was ever going to happen. I mean, how many times do you find a 137-year-old coin? Is it 137? Yep. A 37-year-old coin in a circulated box. You don't. That one we could surely find at some time. Hopefully today. Anyway, Indian head cents are, of course, welcome in that as well. Man, what about a flying eagle? Let's just sort out that. Anyway, look at that. We got our hamster box, the ones with the holes on the bottom so that they can breathe in it. Unfortunately, no hamsters in there today. Just pennies. Let's check it out. Yeah, here's the top side of the box. And it's got quite a few memorials, as you can see. Not the shields, but of course, you can see some of the shields here too. Hard to tell. A lot of these look copperish. That's about it on there. I do not see any wheatbacks, and I do not see any reverses. And that is, of course, all right. I think, to be honest, whenever I do have a reverse wheat out there, I usually don't do very well. So I'd rather they be in the actual rolls. Anyway, we've been doing pretty darn good on these penny box hunts, especially with quantity and quality. Let's continue on. We're going to continue with this one here. That definitely would be nothing. Yeah, looks like we got another shield there too. Or close to it at least. But that's what we'll start with. Who knows what's inside? We'll come back and get started. Okay, first row. Do not, right now, don't have any wheats that I do know of, but we do have a Canadian right there. And it does say Elizabeth, so we do know that it's not going to be, it won't be a George. It's on the obverse side anyway. There she is in all her splendor. I would say 60s, 70s. It's one of the younger portraits. Interesting. We'll find out what year it is. 19. We are in the 70s on that. 1970. Cool. Very, very cool. Good start. First roll, and we've already got a fine. Cool. Might be back. We'll see if I do come back on this roll. Okay, 6 rolls into this box set, and we do have our first wheatie find down at the very end. It was an ender. I don't know if it was one of the top side or was on the bottom, but I don't think you can disagree that that's a wheatie. A lot of detail. I'm thinking 57, 58. That's how I'm going to prognosticate that it's going to be a 57 or 58. Let's check it out. Oh, wow. 54. And I think that's San Fran. Is that San Fran? It is San Fran. Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, that could be a upgrader. Gee, Merry Christmas. Very, very cool. That fooled me. Okay, on to roll 14. Definitely has been a bit slow, but it's kind of the way penny boxes are. Especially mine seem to hit at the end anyway. This one snuck up on me. I can't believe I didn't see it, but take a look. She looks immaculate. And at first when I saw this, I'm going, well, that's got to be like 2000 teens. I don't have anything in the 2000 teens. Or even 2020s. But that's a young portrait. I mean, not the youngest of the portraits, but pretty good. I'm thinking it could be in the 60s. Let's go ahead. I was almost about to do the regular deal there. 19. It is in the 60s. Awesome. 64. Well, you know what? I'm sure in Canada these pop up all the time, but I don't see too many marks on this. Very, very cool find. Okay, we're at roll 15. And this is beginning to look more like a Canadian box than a wheatie hunt, but I would never get mad at that, that's for sure. There we are. It's right in this two. Tell what the portrait looks like a little bit, but it's I don't know. It's one of the younger ones, but it's kind of like I don't think it's not. It's not young. It's not the young one. I don't know. Middle age. No, it's not even middle age. Anyway, let's quit doing that. I can't really tell on that one for some reason. 19 doesn't surprise us. 19, it's going to be in the 60s, just like the last one. 1966. Cool. Let me tell you what. Liking the Canadian coins so far. We have a lot to look at here. I didn't really see a ton of possibilities, but you never know. On to roll 18. And we finally have our second wheatie find. Kind of crept up on me, but it is on its reverse, so hey. I believe that's wheatie. Well, it's quite dirty, but the detail is definitely there. This will be 58 or 57. Unlike the last one that we popped up here. We'll find out. Nice mint mark, D. And there's my 57. Nice. Cool. Can't complain about that. It's fine. And right now we're short of those. Roll 25 of this first box of the current hunt. So halfway through. It's been slow, kind of staying slow so far. But at least we've got an over sticking up. If I can find her. Nope, that's not it. Oh, there we go. Sorry. And we've already seen that date, right? 1957 Denver. But at this point, I'm looking for anything to pop up in this one. It will be tying the Canadians, too, 3-3. So, hey. Okay, on to roll 26. So, just right after a wheatie find in the last roll. And we got another one. So, 2 in a row, folks. Can't get mad at that. Let's see where we're at. Oh. She's sticking out there in the reverse. Very, very brown. Dark brown in this case. And it's got a bit of wear on it, too. A little more on the left ear than the right ear. Very shiny, too. A little glossy. I don't know. This one's a hard one to read. I would hope for 40s, but this could be 50s very easily. Maybe even 30s. I don't know. We'll find out. No hint mark. 40s it is. And I believe that is a 1949 Philadelphia. Very nice. Very, very nice. So that'll be the 4th wheatie find of this box. Very cool. Okay, we are on roll 30, and we've got our 5th wheatie find. The reason why I'm kind of chuckling is it's on its obverse. And the thing is, it's another 1957 Denver. 3rd one we've already found out of the 5 coins. They're all in decent condition. Pretty cool, though. Okay, onward we go. Okay, we are on roll 31, and we're going to get our 3rd Canadian down the line here. There it is. Let's see what portrait we've got. Somewhat young. Maybe 60s or 70s. Let's go ahead and try. I almost turned it right. It's in the 70s. 1976. It's the bicentennial year. Not for Canada, of course. I'm not sure if they do have it. Well, I don't think they would have a bicentennial. Maybe they've had it by now. I don't know when Canada was founded. So anyway, 1976 is bicentennial year for this country. Honor. Okay, on to roll 41 of this first box of the current hunt. Been a few rolls since the last 5, but we do have one here. All dressed up in green gunk. Sure, 1944, and I believe that's an S mint mark. It is, definitely. 1944S, we've been getting, I would say, those at least in the last 2 box hunts prior to this. It is a find, and we're looking for finds. Okay, roll 47. Kind of still on that dry side, but we do have another Canadian visitor. Canada's at least showing up to the party a little bit. You can see it's on its reverse, so I'm going to flip over. I can't tell if that's 12-sided or not. Yeah, it is. So it's one of those 12-sided ones, late 80s, early 90s. What was that? 83, I guess it is in late 80s. 80s and early 90s. How about that? 6-5. Well, Canada's still staying up there. We got a little bit look at it from the roll. Okay, so that is the end of the first box. And we had a total of 6 wheatie finds and 5 Canadians. I would say the 6 wheatie finds are all very common. In fact, we had 3 57Ds in there. So very slow, not the best of boxes there. And, you know what? That's life. That's going to happen. Let's go to a second box, and let's go ahead and start off by checking out its enders. Okay, here is the top side of the second box. You don't really see a whole lot of older ones, I would say. There's a lot of newer ones. I mean, there's older ones here, but I do not see any wheatbacks. Not at least initially. Well, not even initially. If they're on their obverse, I mean, there's obviously copper there. That's 70s right there. But other than that, we're going to have to check out the insides. And we'll start with the first roll right there, which has a shield. And I would say a newer part there in the 2000s. Let's see what's inside. Let's go. Okay, we're still on the first roll because we've actually got our very first wheatie find right here. And it's looking like it's got lots of detail, which is alright. High points have a little bit of wear, but not too much. Hoping this is not going to be another 57D. Something a little new that we haven't seen. It could be in the 50s, which is fine. Oh, wow, we're going to get one in the 40s. 1949. I believe we have a 49. I can't remember if that had a mint mark or not. Let's go ahead and check it. Yep. So, 49 Philly. So, it has its twin right chair. Okay, we are on roll 4. We have our second find of this box. So, kind of hot so far. This one was at the back end, not on the very end, but the back end. This one kind of snuck up on me. Must have been on its obverse. There it is, 1953. I think it's Philadelphia. Yeah, I don't see a mint mark there. I'm not sure what the black on there is, but it is what it is. It's on the reverse too. Okay, roll 5, and we got another find. This one's going to be the first Canadian out of the box. Second one in. So I will say this might have a little bit of age to it. It is Elizabeth, we get that, but it's probably going to be the younger one. Yeah, it sure is. Oh yeah, I believe we've got an old one here. I'm not sure when Elizabeth started. We know 51 was still George VI, but it could be maybe in the 50s. That would be a very cool find. Well, it will be 60s in this case. 1961. Cool. Very, very nice. A bit of wear to her, but it's been out there for 60 some odd years, 63. Cool. Well, okay, it's roll 11, and I noticed this in the roll as I laid it out here. Take a look at this. Can't really read. I think maybe this is the portrait here, but I think it's also so worn that you can't really read anything off of that. If that is the portrait, then this is the reverse. I was going to say that may look like a 0 for 1, but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look like it's in the right position, number one. There is no number 2 or number 3 here. So very perplexing. I weighed it out just to kind of, maybe this is just a zinc one that's been kind of destroyed. It weighs too much to be zinc, but it also weighs much under what would be a copper. It's like by 0.4 grams. So, I mean, but the thing is, when these things do wear, that takes, you can't, zinc one's not going to be as much over as it was, like by point 0.2 to 2.5 grams. That's not happening. So really kind of hard to tell, to be honest. I'm going to try to clean this up and see if we can get anything from it. Anyway, I thought it was interesting. Like I said, I have no idea. It could be just so worn that we can't read anything off it anymore. Could be a wheatie. But we do have the rest of the roll to check through, and we're going to do that. Okay, so this took basically most of the day to get it to this condition. And believe it or not, that coin that you saw all yucky and whatnot, you might be able to see the back end of it, or reverse of a wheatie here, but it is a wheatie. And man, I'm sitting here going, oh my God, this has got to be like, if I can get a date, this has got to be like, oh, the oldest among olds. Well, truth be told, and I'm not even sure you'll be able to see it here. I will put it on the scope here in a little bit. It's in the 40s. I do believe the mint mark's in the S. I'm never going to find out what's the last digit is. I originally put this in really hot water to kind of get stuff off. It really didn't work. Lemon juice and white vinegar, I would never propose to clean a coin if I was going to put it out there on the market to sell. No way, no how. This is just for that collection book. And, this thing was already in horrible condition. It weighs 0.4 grams less than it should. Most, I believe, copper coins are supposed to be, 3.11, and this is at 2.7. I knew it wasn't a zinc to start off with. I just wasn't sure whether it was a wheatie or an older memorial. But it is in the 40s. I'll show you on the scope. Yeah, so I don't really think this is going to help you guys out too much, but I'll actually use my mouse arrow. There's the 1, there's the 9. The 4, I think, is probably the one you can see the most. That might be a 6, but that could be lots of different things. And yeah, I actually do believe that's an S there, that blob there. It looks more like an S than a D would. Really doesn't matter. But it's cool that it's a wheatie, if you want to call it that. Let's just go on and see if... I'm just trying to think. This is the third wheatie find of this box. So this box has been a little bit more active, at least. Let's go on to that next roll. Roll 16 of this box set, and our fourth find of this second box. And we're still kind of staying in the, oops, I don't know what I was doing there. Still staying in that common wheatie finds here, 50 AD. Very cool. We're right at the end of this roll. And here we are on roll 20 of this second box of the current hunt. And the 7th Canadian penny has come out. The 12-sided variety. Looking all shiny and new. Well, maybe not the new part, but the shiny part's correct. 80s through the early 90s. This one will be in the 80s. 89. Let's do the one little part of that leaf there is all black. Oh well. Almost halfway through this second box of the current hunt. Roll 24. We have our 5th wheatie of this. There you are. 5th wheatie of this box. Let's take a look at the reverse. Ooh. Let's say definitely on both ears, there's some wear on that one. We might have something in the 30s here. That would be very cool. Of course, it could be just in the 40s and 50s and was used a lot. Anyway, let's go ahead, see what's going on here. Do we have a mint mark? We do have a mint mark. Looks like it's going to be 40s, by the way. We do not have a mint mark, by the way. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. 1945 or 44. I just don't understand why you love me so much. I could see the D coming out, but not Phillies. And this thing is warm pretty well, too. Man, that was used. Oh, well, it is the 5th fine. That's good. This sub box is at least showing up a little bit. We like that. Let's go ahead and continue on. Roll 31 of this second box of the current hunt. And we do have a wheatie right in there. At least the reverse is popping up. But sure does look like a wheatie. Nice. Let's gunk on it, but detail-wise, it's looking pretty darn good. 40s or 50s most likely, but we will check it out. There was a mint mark, D. It's going to be in the 40s. Is that 46 or 46? 1946 out of Denver. Nice. That is the 6th find in this box. We had 6 in the first. So now we have 12 total. Onward we go. Same roll, 31, and we've got our 7th find. Now this is interesting. It was an ender. And I thought it said 61 earlier, so I really didn't pay much attention to it. But as you can see, 1951, Philly. Very nice. Check out that back. Love the patina on it. Now that's brown. Cool beans. Well, you know, maybe something else will pop up. Okay, roll 35 of the second box of the current hunt. We've got find number 8 for Canadians. Nice. As you can see, it's got the 12 sides there. It's that commemorative from 1992. There we go. I've got lots of these. Lots and lots of commemoratives. We'll continue looking for stuff. We're on a roll 37, and the 8th wheatie find of the box is here. It's somewhere near the middle of this roll. There it is, 1958. Out of Pennsylvania. It's interesting that, once again, it took me how long to get a 57 Philly and a 58 Philly, and then in the last couple of months, that's all I'm getting. Pretty cool. Take a look at the back end. Wow, that's a lot of wear for 58. Gotta say. Very cool. Still have a little bit left of that roll. Okay, roll 38. So next roll over. And we got find number 9 from this box. This box has actually been pretty, other than it's been pretty common wheaties and whatnot. It's at least giving some out. First box is a little bit light. Sorry, I didn't really show that, but it was showing up on the reverse. A bit of wear there. And tell you what, I've had a lot of coins of wear in these 2 boxes, and yet, you know, they're nothing really old's popping out. Well, what's the oldest one we've got here? What, 44? I'm thinking probably 40s or 50s here too. Let's see how it goes. It is in the 40s. Oh man, another 1944. Yeah, not much to say about that. Roll 41 of this second box of the current hunt is up to bat. And we are going to have our 9th Canadian visitor of this hunt. The only difference here is that. is going to be a George the Sixth. Very, very cool. I had a couple of these in the last box hunt. We had a 38 and a 51. Very, very cool stuff. Let's go ahead and pull it out and take a look. Oh, and take a look on the right-hand side. It does not have the Empire signature of IND-IMP on the right-hand side. That means this is going to be a later George VI, one that was coming out in 1948 through the last year of George VI, 1952. You can tell just by how it's changed over here on the right-hand side. So, this isn't in the best of shape, although detail-wise, it looks pretty good. It just has a lot of, I don't know, what do you want to call that, scum? Water stains. It's hard to tell, even though it looks like it has a little bit of rust there on the top, even though this is not something that's going to rust, but what year will it be? That's the big question. We're going to find that out if we go side by side. Bring it over to the reverse. And we will do the reveal. If we can do this without showing everything. We already knew that. Twill be in the 50s. 51 again? Cool. Very nice. 1951 out of Canada. I adore getting old Canadian cents, and this does not change any of that. Awesome. Roll 42. And I left it in the roll, and you can see one of these doesn't look like the other ones. Check it out, folks. I'm going to make 9 cents on this box. I think I did in the last box hunt. I think we had a dime in there too. Unfortunately, unlike the one I think I had, in January or February, this is not going to be a silver dime, but hey, it's clad. And it's 9 cents more. Nice. 1996. Too bad it's not a W. Anyway, we'll have to see if there's anything else in there. 3 rolls left. Roll 47 of the second box of the current hunt. And we're going to have our 10th Canadian find. There she be. It's one of those, not mid-range, but definitely got a little bit of, not young Elizabeth, but, I wouldn't call it middle age either. I would say this is, late 60s, 70s Elizabeth here. Let's go ahead and find out. 1965. We've had a few 60s today, didn't I? We had a 61 in there, and there's a 65. Of course, we had the 51 too, but that was George, not Elizabeth. Very nice. We'll take a look at the rest of the roll, see if anything pops up. Okay, so that is the end of this current penny cent box hunt. We had a total of 15 wheatie finds, 6 wheats from the first box and 9 from the second. And I was going to say, the last 12 rolls were devoid of any wheaties in that second box. It still ended up being average, kind of an average wheatie find box, but man, it could have been a little bit more than that. It's kind of the way it is sometimes. Along with those 15 finds, 10 Canadian cents. Here's the setup as we summarize. Let's go ahead and start with our oldest wheatie finds from 1944. So I really didn't find anything old this time around. That happens. A couple 44s from Philly and a 44D. We've got a 1946 out of Denver. Supposed to have two 1949s. I might have accidentally, when I get rid of the other coins that aren't very useful, in other words, putting them into the penny bin, I must have swept it in there. But luckily, it wasn't a a rarer find. 49 is pretty common. I've got plenty of those. I don't know, still did not figure out what this is. It is a wheat penny, and I think it definitely is from the 40s. I think it's a 46D, but the date is so corroded, it's not really worth really investigating further. 1951, Philadelphia. 1953, Philadelphia. We had that first find out of all of them, the 1954S. That could definitely be an upgrader. We had three 1957Ds, and if I may be incorrect, but those might have been in a row too. And then we found a 58 Philly and a 58D. The Canadian finds. Well, remember, we did get 9 cents more out of this box with a dime in there. And what is that again? 96 Philadelphia. Canadian finds. 61, 65, 66, 70. Some nice old finds there. 76, 83, 89, and then the commemorative 1992. Probably, and I would say these are the best finds of the box. We had that 1951 late, I think with about 8, maybe 9 or 8 rolls left. 1951, it's a George VI. And I include this in the best finds because, you know what, a nice shiny Canadian coin in a U.S. penny cent box, you know what, pretty darn cool. 1964. 60 years old, looking like that. Darn pretty. So anyway, I will go ahead and take a look. These are all very common. There's not going to be any hole fillers here. There aren't any hole fillers. I don't even think the 51's a hole filler. I believe I found a 51 in that last box set, so definite upgrader though. I will look through these for varieties and errors. Oh, by the way, I guess I didn't say we did find some interesting shinies there. I will go ahead and look for varieties and errors, as I had mentioned, and, I'll show the collection books. I would take it for upgraders. Onward. Okay, so I've looked through all the coins. There really wasn't that much to look at, to be honest. For varieties and errors, nothing going there. Let's go ahead and get right to the collection books. Just updaters today. We did update that 54S. This is I thought the details were a little bit more there, so we went with that one. And then this is the 1941, the 1975 book, sorry. Oh, real quick editing piece. I said that I had a 44D earlier. It was actually a 44S. So my apologies. Anyway, Canadian book, small cents. And as I mentioned earlier, yes, we already had a 51. This one is definitely in better shape than the other one. But I'll keep the other 51 hanging around. There's the updater, 64. I mean, come on. The other one it wasn't even close to in immaculate condition like this one is. So, very, very cool. That is it. Pretty straightforward hunt. Not a lot of big time finds. Very common. Common finds in that. 15 finds in 2 boxes. I would say that's below average. You know what? It's going to happen, and it happened, and that's the way it is. You it's all luck anyway, so sometimes luck isn't going to be the greatest. Anyway, thanks for joining me for this one. Appreciate anybody who spends the time to view any of this, even little parts of it. It's always pretty cool. Hopefully you have a great week and upcoming weekend. Right now this is Monday, the 26th, so that's where my thinking is coming from that. Nothing special coming up. Nickelbox hunt, nothing on the sly or anything. I might have a PCGS order coming up here, but we'll show it to you. A prevailing, that word that I made up a long time ago. Hope everybody stays healthy and safe out there. We will see you later. Cheers.